Hello, Moon Souls, welcome. This is my sidereal astrology page, and this moon cycle we have a Gemini moon cycle conjunct Jupiter, mutable air. This is the undercurrent for the next 29 days. And the key aspects which we'll get into in this video: sextile to Mars by degree, 11 degrees, and squaring the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. So when you're working with the moon cycles, remember this is a collective rhythm, and the new moon in Gemini is taking things in a new direction. We just finished a Taurus cycle where themes of money, stability, building foundations, art, aesthetics, beauty, the body. These themes might have been present for you or played out in some way. And I invite you to really reflect and explore. This is where we can begin to understand astrology from more of an embodied experience. When you begin to observe how moon cycle is flowing for you, how you can bring yourself into alignment with that, and then naturally what plays out, you not only bring yourself back into rhythm with the flow of the moon and the flow of nature's cycles, but you get a deeper understanding of astrology from that experience. That's what I found anyway. And as you begin to follow the moon cycles, you'll notice that it's like clockwork. There is something about the rhythm. New moons really bring us inwards, and then we have this increasing phase up until the full moon, where there's a harvest, there's a full light. We'll have this cycle's full moon in Sagittarius, and a chance for the sun and the moon then are in opposition. There's a chance to find balance, to find the polar opposite and explore that, and how that can actually help you bring balance to whatever Gemini themes you are evolving, you are growing, you're developing in this cycle, expanding. Boundaries might be themes for people. Remember, all of the planets have their shadow and light side. All of the signs have their shadow and light side. So it's really becoming familiar with that, familiar with your own chart. And then you begin to more deeply connect with the individual effects of the moon cycle for you. So I've got a Flow with Your Moon course coming up on that in a few months. The launch date is not set, but it will be before I give birth. And before that, I'll nearly finish, and it will be up soon, my sidereal, gateway to your sidereal chart. So if you're wanting to explore more your sidereal codes, or you're wanting to bring yourself back into more flow with nature, aka flow with your life, flow with self, through astrology, then you can subscribe to my mailing list, and I'm going to be sending out more information on that. So let's get started with this cycle. Gemini being mutable air, it's a cycle where we are reshaping, reforming, finding a new direction that things can take through communication, through thought spheres, through ideas, through social networking, research, learning, study. We're all at completely different phases and points in our lives. The Gemini energy can show up as a fun, social, flirty cycle full of lots of play, or it could show up as a cycle where you're studying and you've got an extra burst of mental energy supporting you to do that. So this part of your chart, part of your energy, is being invited to evolve, and you'll find that by area of life, house, in your natal chart, the planets there being invited to evolve, and you'll just be able to observe that, especially if you are familiar with your chart, you'll start to notice that. And my tip is really, regardless of whatever area of life, and this is what I've come to understand and see through working with this technique, it doesn't matter if Gemini is your first house, your 8th house, your 11th house, your 5th house. See that as an extra layer. The Gemini energy is playing out right now collectively and for us as individuals for the next 28 days, and this will show up in multi-dimensional different areas of your life. And just leaning into it and leaning into what it is inviting you to do, to communicate, to speak, to write, to use your mind, to focus on thought processes, to focus on the small details, to focus on taking things step by step, putting the pieces of the puzzle together, to focus on nourishing the nervous system, finding ways to look after your lungs, your respiratory system, focusing on this part of the body, mindset or mental health support. These are all the physical ways that you can work to support yourself, develop and enhance and create balance and find balance through a Gemini moon cycle. Regardless of what area of life it is, it's playing out. And the house that it's in, which is the area of life, that you can see as a template for you to channel your energy more there. Or you might find that area of your life, say it's in your 5th house of self-expression, children, creativity, love affairs, there's something happening there. It might feel more obvious. For example, the last Taurus moon cycle was in my 10th house. I had Taurian themes playing out in my whole life through assets, money, rent, property, jewelry making, body, and these were themes of the last cycle: wealth, money, beauty, aesthetics. It was also in my 10th house, so I also found there was a lot of movement forward of building, of structure, and areas within my career house. I also make jewelry. I was casting silver rings. So even though the Taurian energy I felt in lots of different areas of my life, including relationships, including love, Venus rules Libra and Taurus. Taurus is a sign that connects with nature and it's life's pleasures, the senses, ruled by Venus, and relationships, love. There are all of those themes playing out, but the 10th house for me, I felt it. And by leaning into that, I did well to put energy into that area of my life, because the moon was naturally triggering that part of my chart to evolve. So you can take the house as an extra layer and just be aware of what that house and what that external environment represents for you, and channel your energy at times more into that space, but not completely disregard that the Gemini energy will be present throughout all areas of your life. The moon rules and governs so many different areas of our life. It's our emotions. We often say, oh, it's the planet of emotions. Yes, but it's so much more than that. It's our emotions, our behaviors, our instincts, our reactions, all of the shadow work, the unconscious stuff. This is your feeling planet, okay? But it's also who we are in the home, our family. It rules Cancer on the axis of the home and work, Cancer and Capricorn. We see it play out in relationships, how we can communicate in relationships. It's a huge factor and a big archetype within the health lens of astrology as well. So just within that, we've got health, family, work, relationships, emotions, and the most sensitive part of us. So the moon is our daily rhythms, and when we align with the moon cycles, we align and bring ourselves back into flow for everyday life. And that's how I really enjoy working with astrology, making it practical, making it useful, and something that we can use as a tool. So whatever really is going on in your life right now, and whatever the last cycle might have brought up for you, whatever you evolved, whatever you birthed, whatever you ended, this is the cycle. We always have the new beginning and we have the ending of each cycle, but it's a continuum. So now we've just closed an earth cycle of finding stability, of foundations, of hopefully bringing some type of structure or remodeling to our finances, to the expression of art in the real world, tangible things, relationships. And now it's about communication. Now it's about working with the mind. Now it's about allowing things to be reshaped, reformed, to change, to adapt, and to not fight that, not to stay stuck in something that actually wanted to go off in a new direction. I'll give you an example. I've really been dedicating in a Taurian way, putting the hard effort in last cycle to finalizing the structure and the framework for the online courses that I want to offer. I initially had a sidereal entry to your sidereal chart that included the nodes, Chiron. I'll still put it out, but it's a much more advanced deep dive into chart signatures. Towards the end of the cycle, I was like, no, this is not the key thing that I really want to be sharing with people. What I'm really passionate about is the moon cycles, but people also need to understand that the sidereal have a gateway to the sidereal birth map before getting more deeply into that. So I allowed the beginning of this moon cycle, and it happened just towards the end and the beginning. I completely shifted and changed in a very Gemini way. I reshaped and reformed what I already had the backbone for and made the sidereal gateway course shorter, simpler, but still just as useful, and a basic great foundation to be able to understand and familiarize and explore your sidereal codes. And that allowed me to then focus on really now continuing to build this flow with your moon course that I'm doing that will take you through the whole of all of the signs for the whole year through the 12 signs. And that came just as the Gemini energy started coming in, going, hold on, okay, you've got the framework, you've got the foundations, it's there, but let's not get so stuck on, in a Taurian way, it's fixed earth, you can get very stuck and stubborn and want to stay in one place or stay on one way of doing things. And so the mental energy of the air sign Gemini comes in and goes, okay, no. So what about communicating this differently? What about taking a short trip? What about, visiting somewhere else? Gemini is short trips. Sagittarius is long travel. So it's about switching it up this cycle. It's about suddenly just doing something else that's a little bit more fresh, new, a fresher breath air, a breath of fresh air, and any thoughts that are arriving and bubbling to the surface. This is what you might be experiencing through the new moon. The first few days, which is about to have the moon enter into Cancer. The last couple of days during the new moon, what was bubbling to the surface for you? What was feeling new? And even if you're catching this video, halfway through the cycle, doesn't matter. This is the undercurrent, and you can actually use this as reflection. That's what we begin to do towards the end of the cycle. So these first few stages of the beginning part of this cycle are important because it's all about what the psyche and what the unconscious mind and emotional body is bringing up to the surface for you to adapt, for you to change, for you to reshape. And you'll know what this means to you. This will sing to you in the way that it needs to, and that's the beauty of astrology and symbols and working with these stories that the zodiac signs teach us and share with us. So the Mars, Gemini, Jupiter, new moon, sextile. This is a really great moon cycle to tap into and take note of, take action towards any opportunities that come your way. Mars is in creative Leo, it's fixed fire, it is the fire sign that brings inspiration, motivation, and development to anything that you've been creatively activating, anything that's been creatively started, yet now you're sustaining that fire. So anything that you're creatively growing, you're taking action towards. This could be for creatives, but it's also any area in your life. It could be Leo ruled themes. Leo rules the heart. It's a very sexual sign. Mars is also a sexual planet. There could be themes here that you're exploring around love, around romance, about displaying yourself to the world, your gifts to the world, being out there. Mars in Leo collectively is action driven and driven to go and display the self, driven to go and take lead, take charge of something. And so this can be a very supportive opportunity for you. Remember, sextiles bring opportunities. They can also be things that are missed, just like trines, these two positive aspects, they can get overlooked because, well, opportunities come and then you might get distracted or you might prioritize something else. So definitely this moon cycle, be aware of opportunities that are supporting you to take action towards growing and expanding. And this could be a communication with your partner. This could be a communication with your loved one. This could be action towards finally finishing your revision or the book you're writing or anything that is Gemini ruled in your life, the commitment to motivation forward with the course you're developing, anything to do with the mind, mental processes, and whatever it is that you're expanding. Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, the opposite sign of Gemini. It's not naturally comfortable in Gemini, but it does well there when it allows itself to grow step by step, and it can take its big expansive energy and be I was about to say puzzle maker. I don't know if that doesn't really make sense. When you're doing puzzles, this is kind of just what I feel with this energy, especially really this cycle with Jupiter being there. Jupiter rules Sagittarius, which is the sign of the philosophers, mythologies, and the deep meanings in life. And Gemini wants to have fun. It's also, quite simple sign in many ways. It's, having your girlfriends over, boyfriends over and having chit chat and a nice coffee and interesting conversation and sparks of ideas. And it's quick, it's curious, it can be non-committal. And so the big energy of Jupiter can feel confined in that small space that Gemini is, bouncing around the neighborhood, bopping off to coffee shops, interested in art museums, interested then in taking a pottery class. It's definitely about a cycle of learning and exploring. If there's nothing that you're really dedicating yourself to right now, enjoy the fun and lighthearted feeling of this cycle and know that Jupiter there is there to expand and is there to learn and to grow. Jupiter is about higher learning. So it's going to be a great cycle for those that maybe are not sure of kind of what it is that they're doing or what their purpose is or what their bigger mission is, what the bigger vision is for them in life, to actually go and try out different hobbies, to go and read different books, to get inspired. Jupiter is all about bringing positive energy, inspiration, and higher growth, bigger growth. So yeah, if you're not sure of your divine mission and you're kind of just exploring, so you can definitely use that cycle to go and develop that area of your life, because that's what Jupiter is helping you with anyway there right now. So this new moon is accenting that. If you're already on your spirit mission, quite clear about what your goals are, what it is that you're developing, this could be any area of your life, within your home life, your family, your work, your relationships, your own personal projects or career projects. Jupiter is there going, okay, we can get deep and we can pull a lot of energy into studying and developing our higher self and growing this cycle. And let's try and do that step by step. Let's try and do that through paragraphs and breaks and just consolidating the information, revising, taking ourselves back and restructuring, getting things logical, putting things in their place, being rational about it. This might be a cycle for those that explore working with their hands creatively. Gemini rules the hands, so even just for the embodiment of the moon and the embodiment of the Gemini energy, go in doing something that explores working with the hands, playing an instrument, picking up a paintbrush, making jewelry, whatever it is, take a typing course, just working with the hands in some way. So definitely taking opportunities that come your way to take action. Both of these signs, Leo and Gemini, they love to have fun. They do. And so it might just be a great cycle for you, especially if you've been working hard, or if the Taurus moon cycle was particularly tough for you, or you were putting the grind in, or you had a lot of material responsibilities come up. things show up for you, then this moon cycle, might be one that you just take opportunities to go out, let your head out, have some fun, go out and dance. Go out and dance, put on your favorite tunes, and just bring this light, airy, fiery movement into your reality if you've been feeling everything's been quite a lot of earth lately. With the Saturn Neptune square, well, collectively, this square is really interesting how it's showing up. We're going to have it for quite a while longer. I can't remember the exact dates, but it's around sometime towards the middle of next year. I think it goes very exact around December. The Saturn-Neptune conjunction is all about the dissolving of ancestral structures, of what we thought we knew, of social structures that are densely imprinted and now developed in society. And what I find interesting is that the Saturn-Neptune square is happening in Pisces, the sign of death, of transformation and metamorphosis. And Pisces is the collective pool of fish. It rules the deep water bodies. It's the rule of Pisces which makes it strong there. And I just feel like it's dissolving and almost like seawater cleansing and well, I've got the word in Spanish and I haven't got it, I've not got it in English. Dissolving and deracipating, eroding the Saturnian skeleton that has been almost obstructive. It's obstructive for some people. You can see this as the matrix. You can see this as authorities that are abusing their power. You can see it as an outdated system that we're slowly evolving from, using technology, connecting that more back into tribal living. Neptune is the tribe, Neptune is the collective. And so there is this, Saturnian energy goes, this is the way that things should be done. It's this way or no way, almost a dominant force. And it is, it's the planet of order, it's the planet of karma. And it can be used in a really healthy way to strengthen, to bring ideas into real structure and form. But there's something that happens with Neptune there that it's not able to fully be in its full expression. And in the most positive way, I feel this conjunction is actually about us restructuring and allowing dreams and new ways and new potentials, ways of living and connecting with the collective, allowing those new, kind of what we're longing for in a way, because the Saturnian energy is very, very dense. It's something that we can't control because it controls us. Look at, the wars that are happening, look at the immigration prison that has, Trump's going to be building. I don't like to get too political on this page, but, when we're looking at social and collective planets, well, we can't not do that because that's really what they're ruling. And so even though this can show up individually in the natal chart, what we're looking at in moon cycles, it is also collective. So, and you can work with these energies more personally for you, which I'll get into, but it's also good examples to know what is happening collectively as a way for you to more deeply understand and explore the potentials of this union. The last time this conjunction happened was in 1989. So those born in 1989 will have this as their blueprint. Dissolvers, building, creating new structures, new dreams, new ways of what the real world looks and feels like. And in a spiritual way, Pisces is the sign of spirituality, it's unconditional love, it's compassion. And so there's a new wave of of connecting and bringing spirituality into the real world, into the mundane, dense, okay, this is what I'm experiencing in 3D. Pisces is connected with nature, but also, omnipresence is the love for nature. And so we can see that happening, and this moon cycle, more personally, work with this transit. What you're seeing here is a hard square, which may show up as challenging for some, especially if you've got your sun or your moon in Gemini natally. But the Pisces energy is the dreamer. The Pisces energy wants to dream, and it taps into the astral realms to channel through information. It's the artists, the musicians, the escapists, but those that can come through with just divine ways of seeing and feeling. And Gemini is a mental sign. It's all about, okay, what's going on here right now? Let's have some small talk. Let's study something. Let's learn something new and interesting. Pisces takes things deep, and Gemini keeps it on the surface. So what is the strength that these two signs can have this cycle and to support your journey with the moon? So we look at the planets. This is about your journey through developing the Gemini part of your energy via planets, via house, but just in general, your life. We're in Taurus season. The sun is in Gemini. And so being aware of the support that this square can give, Sun-Saturn square, which we've actually gone past now because it's 11 degrees and here is A. Collective themes around self-worth, potentially feeling blocked to move forward or having some type of a block. And this might show up, this moon cycle, even though it's not as strong because it's here, it's moved away from Saturn, it's still there in the square. And you might find this moon cycle, you've moved past certain mental blocks, you've moved past confusions, this is the Pisces shadow, insecurities, inability to find structure, and now you're being tested and you're being supported to actually bring things into more of a digestible form, whether that's the conversations that you have, whether that's the work that you're doing, whether that's anything, it can be anything in your life. These are the energies and the archetypes that we're talking about. The Neptune energy, again, dreams, longing, your big dreams, kind of what you idealize to have, what is it that you're really dissolving? What structures are you dissolving now so you can rebuild them in a new way, in a new dream? What is the dream for you? And I feel, and speaking with people, this is collectively what's happening. A lot of us are dissolving, kind of our structures are dissolving walls. We are connecting more with our spirituality and what the dream of our life looks like, because our spirituality is our life practice. So lots of themes around love, but collective love and unconditional love, art, and really the gentleness and the beauty that can come through that sensitivity. A lot of this is the themes I feel like they're all potentially working through as a way of restructuring our dreams in everyday life, restructuring our dreams in our work, our career, in how we experience planet Earth and what we're actually wanting to develop over long periods of time. And so this might sing to you, it might not. We're looking at collective energies. And so this moon cycle is going, okay, so that's your bigger vision. This is what you've been dissolving. This is what your heart feels. This is what your heart's been healing. And Gemini is going, okay, so what's the small print? How are you going to get there? what are the small steps that you need to take? You've got a vision to gather people together for a spiritual retreat. That's a Neptunian and Pisces, you know? Okay, so what do you have to do? The emails, the fine print, getting the photographs, the promotions together. This could be a way for you to work with this moon cycle. I'm just giving you an example here. Say there are things going on in your relationship, more of a personal moon cycle for you. Okay, how are you going to start that conversation? What are the themes? Let's get logical, rational, think about this. Let's move past whatever has been blocking us or blocking this emotionally through fears, through insecurities, through escapism, through addictions, all the Pisces shadows, and how can we actually now sort this out? Find a reason, find a solution step by step. And so this is the undercurrent. And again, look, this is something that is so individual to each person. I'm just giving you examples of how this might play out. And the Gemini energy is there to support us all. And wherever you are being invited to use your mind, use your thoughts with precision, use your words, use your voice, whatever you're being invited to do that involves the Gemini energy and reshaping, rebreathing some type of new direction or lighter feel to any depth, any heaviness, any resistance. And it might be as simple as you've been working really, really hard and this moon cycle is like, okay, we're gonna have some fun with this, but also let's get things moving and put this all together. So it could be a very creatively active cycle for some people, through the ability to communicate your blogs, your writing, your teaching, showing up, communicating, connecting. The air signs are social signs. They are about relationships. And Gemini is the student, but it can also be teaching, can also be showing up on your podcast. It can also be stepping into whatever area of life, your voice, that the moon is there activating this cycle for you. And not just that, Jupiter has entered this part of your chart and you are now growing this through your study, through your learning, through developing resources, mental resources, mindset techniques, meditation practices, just daily rituals that support the mind, the voice, communication. And so that's the long journey of Jupiter in Gemini, and then this moon cycle, putting energy towards whatever it is that you're growing and you're expanding through the Gemini themes. So I hope that was useful and food for thought. Remember to subscribe if you're interested and enjoy hearing about moon cycles. Also, join my newsletter where I'm going to be sending out more information on my Gateway to Sidereal Codes, which is a video series helping you to connect and understand more deeply your sun, the moon, rising, and there's a whole lot of extra stuff in there. And my moon flow course that's going to be coming up, which is going to be supporting your unique, more personal journey through the moon cycle, beyond it just being a Gemini moon cycle, understanding how to decode what planets there, what is the development or the evolution that those planets are being invited to do, the area of life, and then working with the different stages that the moon cycle takes us through. So, we're coming up to the Sagittarius full moon where there'll be a lot of expansion. You'll get the opposite energy revealed to you as a way to bring balance. It might involve travel. You might find there's some type of an expanded way of thinking or viewing, or things get deeper. Something reveals itself to you based on whatever intentions or whatever it is that you've been focusing on this cycle. That's the point in the cycle where you really get to dive deep, or you get to broaden your horizons. There's a higher learning, or is it type of an expanding that happens. It's often a time where we receive abundance, and for some it can be a time of release. So we also got the different quarters of the cycle, so you get in the course different prompts to support each moon cycle, the themes, and learning how you can begin to decode them so that you can just continually allow yourself to tap into the moon cycles and bring yourself back into rhythm with them. So sending you much love, blessings, and look forward to seeing you again next time. Bye-bye.
Hold tight, move slow. Get your mindset ready for me to show you my true colors lately. I feel alive. Both know that you've been searching for a game, so play right when you go. Hold tight, move slow.